It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. Really should have came with supplies, cheese, and measure vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper, and I suppose we can overlook this just once. She looks really sorry. Yeah, no. If I let her burn now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict the deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness. He said the only thing he stole was that note. Is this correct? Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying little brat? I say this piece of paper from the terrible, lonely trash can. That's all. You're lying, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? It's so big. I don't believe the note's the only thing he stole that night. Take that. It's so big. That note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lana Har was raising a huge stink over a camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie, $1,600 camera disappeared on me." Like, witness? What is it, Gramps? If we have the note, then it's only logical you have the camera too. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What, even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? I see emails like you, I fall in love, and borrow, in quotes, the things from people. I think the definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's what I noticed it said. Slimeball celebrity photographer extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Oh, I forgot something. There we go. Bailiff. Check this camera's photos, hurry. You must examine them at once. Like I said, totally professional. On this Ezra, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please send it to the court. This is Nico Samurai. See, I told you. That's the guy I saw. This was the witness was that line earlier about this matter. Lana's photo was taken in the hallway right after the murder. Wait, can I look at that photo? Alright. Noted. What does it all mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is a defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Engard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is to be the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Knight? The court will consider them before we close. Indeed, this photo is decisive evidence against your client. This photo really is decisive than we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. There's only one road out of this mess.
And his name is John C.
It's John Cena, yep, obviously. Terrible. Well, come on in. You're indeed second. Because Bald is first. There's something strange with this photo. Knew this is coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we all agree that there is something strange with this photo. Oh, the Lakers lost? Wow. There is no way for this defense to debunk this photo, even with Bunker Buster. Debunk with a Bunker Buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Knight? Karma got shot by, a third party that's related to Maya. Possibly. So instead, Edgeworth is taking over the mantle. Also, yes, that is Edgeworth. There will be some relevance at some point, but for now, we're stuck with Edgeworth and his expertly crafted conjectures. And also, we are fighting an uphill battle, to say the least. Anyway, please look at this photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Well... I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't you take a good shot with it, especially when it counts? So, obviously this picture has to be taken from where Vanguard's room was at then. Because I see the bear right there and the fancy plants that were at I mean Karina's door room. Now then, let's hear the objection. What about this photo is strange? I mean, the one thing I could think of is the Hakama, right? It's this person here, of course. You mean Nicholas Samurai, and what is wrong with that? At the time of the murder, Mr. Garb was in his own room. Which means that it's Nicholas Samurai. You think that's all it takes? You should reconsider your choice of occupation. I think it's about time you retired. And it looks like there was no problem with this photo after all. Problem was with the brain of that lawyer, Your Honor. Wait. You're the one who let your last chance fly away from you, right, Sir Wright? So they're pretty much like I chose wrong. Okay, so it was not that. Got it. Alright, let me think this through. Also, we're probably gonna be seeing this photo a lot because I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be looking at. The fact that he doesn't have anything in his hand. Let's take a look at this again. I mean, I know I'm wrong because I pointed at this guy before and that was not the case, so I'm gonna go back. I'm assuming maybe the door? The strange thing is around here, I think. Somewhere. Around here. I think. Am I seeing something y'all are not? Okay. I would earlier take the damage on the chain and move on, but it's all my points, so... It is not that. Oh, is that the button? The question is, I don't know what I'm supposed to be pointing at exactly. That's the one thing I'm confused about, honestly. I mean, I'm still gonna point at the center because that's the only thing I could think of. Oh, it's the head, the head part of it. Time to cheat. I would say that, but if I eat the wrong piece on the picture, I lose all my eternity points, and therefore I lose automatically. Because again, all that's flashing in the upper right corner, that's all my health, pretty much. Maybe I caught myself in a trap, and that's what happened. That's cheat. I mean, I'm probably again looking at something that's obvious. But I'm just wondering if it really is something I have to point out, or if it's just another trap I'm walking into, like the other two traps. Is this really alright with you, Phoenix? Well, there's nothing wrong with the photo that I could point. Try again. Take another good look at it. And if you still don't see anything, do something. Anything to prolong the trial. Yes, Chief. Oh, wait, Your Honor. What is it, Mr. Knight? The one time I say in 3 different slots, I'm not even sure what's the right path at this point. Please address me with your comments afterwards. No, I'm sorry, but this can't wait. Let me guess. You're gonna point out some peculiarity with this photo. Nothing. Why didn't you say so earlier? Something strange with this photo. Now, I think we can all agree there's something strange with this photo. There's no one for the defense to debunk this photo. Also, there, case in point, that's why I cannot point at the Steel Samurai, because I lose all my points, said I'm guilty. Before, this is like the first session, like both the previous game and this game, that I seen what happens when you're guilty. Teddy bear? No. Unless that's supposed to be the thing that was stuck, which it might not be. I might just be blowing more smoke. No, it's not. It's not a button combination. The problem is I don't see what's wrong with this photo. Like, the only thing I can conjecture is this was taken from across the hallway where Vanguard's room was at. I mean, yes, but at the same time, I at least have an idea of. I at least have an idea of what I'm supposed to do. In this case, I have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I can assume there's something wrong with the headpiece, but I can't point at that because the game says nope, it's something else entirely. Oh, that's what I'm supposed to look at. I guess it was a Hakama. I was just pointing out the wrong part of it. I thought the mystery button was like on the sash or something like that. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing at? His ankles? If you can see this person's ankles, actually, wait, hold on. Oh yeah, you don't really see his feet, do you? Huh. I mean, the one fact I glossed over because again, I was thinking it was this because his hair's sticking out, but okay. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costumed person in this photo could not have been Mr. Guard. What is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the Hakama. Here's his socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his Hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I turned things around for myself this time. It's curious. Yeah? What is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. It's true. It's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all? Is there Edgeworth? What does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not a man-god, and everything the prosecution is trying to prove has become meaningless. Dot dot. Figured it would come to this. And Nani? Right. I have something I want to ask of you. I think you have proven that the person outside this costume is not Vanguard. In that case, who is this a photo of? It's a person wearing a little samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. Well, you should be focused on his Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Why is he so calm? So let's hear your thoughts. Yeah, it's clearly a lot harder to take the picture somehow. Now, I'm assuming what he assumed it's probably Andrew's, right? Take that. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nico Samurai is, it's not other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews when the world points you to her? For starters, she's short, and she could freely move in and out of Mr. Ngard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ngard that night. And how does that all add up? It means that it makes it very easy for her to get a personal item. A certain knife with Mr. Ngard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that is used as a murder weapon? Why did you just say what it is you want, right? Now, this is probably where I have to eat, what I think I have to eat. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews for the murder of Juan Herrera. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Order. It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more. Oh. If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya. Now then, we shall send Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The court's about to adjourn the court. Now then. Objection? Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. Can I hear Miss Andrews' testimony if... Hold it. I adore wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But... I cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Tis. Unexpected development. I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? That Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoena Miss Andrews is all happening according to plan. Even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? Nani? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Is Agent Andrews currently waiting in the prosecutor's lobby? She is the next witness. Eh? Everything was planned in advance by that man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle's far from over. Exactly. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please tell your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. To be continued in a few minutes. That I'll have to check out later. Okay. Right. Definitely a twist, and definitely more trial for sure. March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 3. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian... Wait, not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She's a manager. Would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife he used at dinner was, well, her. So, after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planned that blood-covered bud near Hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up. And then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she's a real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Coretta. But why? I thought she was buzzed with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see it by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright, I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Your verdict is refreshing like a spring breeze. Okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix? You think her motive is related to Celeste and Pax's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depending on Miss Impax as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impax suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left the suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Coretta, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Coretta. All to get the suicide note back. It sounds plausible, but one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about the relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to missing packs. Dot dot dot. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of the ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Where the plot takes us, I don't know, because I guess Edgeworth's the conductor in this one. March 22nd, 2:25 p.m. Back to quarter number 3. What's a number reconvene? Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls a witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Correa's room. What is your occupation? I'm the magistrate defendant in this case, Mr. Manengard. I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. I would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was a topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never heard of Gossipland. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Correa. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. And so does a fly and bait matter, or was it bait and fly? Did I say fishing? But I didn't kill him. No one's accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. When I found the body. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints in the glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Mr. Knight, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer. She has the brains to match. Yeah, I know. In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt your pacing. Disrupt your pacing? She's the type of woman who's easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial's over, understand? Okay. So does this mean I had to press at certain points, like when I had to deal with the clown from the circus? And what was Mr. Ingard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out for his meaningful performance as a Nico samurai during the ceremony. Disregard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken. It could not have been taken out of his trip. Yes. Excuse me. It's. What are you? Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Engar's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object. Right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. And why didn't you do that? As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship? Is that the only reason? I beg your pardon? What are you implying? You had a certain goal in mind when you first started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim? Sorry, but I didn't have such intentions in mind at the time. At that time. You were in shock? Nani, was I supposed to not? Was I not supposed to be? Andrew's a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. This is a fellow you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There was no lip mark left on this wine glass, it just said anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Coretta, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. Miss Andrews? I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. Sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower face over. Flower face? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess up glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser. Oh, I think I can smell what the next inconsistency is exactly. I think. But when I bumped into my apple, it fell onto the guitar case. Why did she withhold such an important piece of information? Sorry, I got the sense the crime scene was very in disarray. That people would simply assume the vase is just another part of the mess. Yeah, because there's water, but not in the case. But the case was already open, as she said. Looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else he had to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. Objection. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. Are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. Alright, Nexus. It's true the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. It's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. As you mentioned before, this is one of your favorite cases. I'm enjoying it. I'm just not a fan of walking into Edgeworth's traps, but maybe I got too complacent with having to deal with one karma or something along those lines. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is along with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass jar should be inside and not outside the case. Yeah. What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? Objection. No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yeah, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch a guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. Wright guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be, however. The guitar cases seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? Yeah, and it seems that there's no deeper meaning to the guitar case. I mean, it has to be important, right? The empty guitar case, I believe it's a crucial piece of the puzzle. Can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. I believe I'm doing this either. Alright, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I mean, the one suspicious thing I see, other than the obvious, of her motive is that card. But I guess we'll figure this out as we go along, because I had a grasp for straws at this whole picture of Lada's to find the inconsistency. Anyway, I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Man, it looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar point by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic. It could be an escape for a weak man. During your test where just now, did you clearly remember those events Did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see. Are you sure you are the one who opened the guitar case? Dot dot dot. She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sound like her appendicitis taking over. Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. So you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Miss Karina's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open the case. As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed. I think I'm starting to understand why I have to yeet now, but I'm still gonna play along. Maybe I was curious to know if the Wright guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials will be over in half the time if you just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. Not gonna get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Got a weapon to hit her with. I can think of one. No. I was thinking that was the point where I say it's what I think it is. Okay, it's not. Or maybe it's the obvious. It's the guitar case I'm beating, and not what I think I had to eat. Objection. Of course it is. I swear I should get used to the sort of logic of it's the item I think it is and not troll myself like earlier. There's no way you're the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Because the only fingerprints on the guitar case are those of the victim. Ah. Well, what is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the war ceremony. So of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. And I see. On this night, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? I mean, I noticed the card. I noticed it looks similar to the bit we started with today, with that card being used by Maya. Do I have to prove I was not wearing gloves at the time? Lala's photo. I think it's time for you to go home now, right? Or you hurt yourself, that is. For myself? It's a learner's delight, you don't have to push yourself so hard. Okay, so at least I didn't... At least the game is having some mercy of not insta just eating me out the courtroom. There's something to prove we were not wearing gloves at the time. Oh yeah, duh, the wine glass. Take that. I have the proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Oh. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Also, A, that's unlucky for glasses to break. B, I'm glad you had spare glasses. Question mark. Order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty now. The guitar, the bright red guitar was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright red guitar? Wait, no, that didn't sound right either. The one downside of these games is that you can be the smartest person in the world, but you have to think like they want you to, even if you're 5 steps ahead. Yeah, that is some of my problem with like the earlier cases. I think I have the answer, and it's like, nope, I'm thinking multiple steps ahead. Just like when we're looking at this picture, I wanted to point out that this was the button, this was inconsistent, no, it was the bloody bottom of the Hakama that was wrong with this photo. Because even in this, like, I see like this part looking wrong to me, and it wasn't the answer, so. Right. Back on track. And I didn't mean to be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact that on the case. Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court toward an unrelated topic and lure us onto his misguided. Objection. No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it's wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. You're so sure, right? Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your Raj's claim, correct? I probably can, but I'm saying because I am terrified at that prospect. Please, enlighten us as to why this guitar case has anything at all to do with the murder. Can you do that, Mr. Knight? Well... Okay, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a blood red back guitar now. So you tend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right? I want to say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? The obvious answer, there was another case inside the case. Now, as funny as that would be, I doubt that's it. Take that. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one? Why, Mr. Wright? Why? Again, I'm probably thinking 2 steps ahead, or multiple steps. Kind of foolish fool, get some love. What was in the photo? What was inside the case? The button? No, that's not it. No. I know it's always not a person, so I'm not even gonna consider that fact. This is a photograph? Yes, but what's important is what's in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... inside the guitar case was a nickel samurai. The hero's very own costume. Nani? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't just let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starting for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? You mean this photo? Order. It looks like we wanted to take quite out of the mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the Leon Benedict is hiding inside a costume? Wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Vanguard's. Why would something of the defendant be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places? True, it's a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was Nickel Samurai's costume doing inside a guitar case? It was stolen? I think it might have been stolen from Mr. Vanguard. It's stolen, but why would someone do such a thing? Maybe the thief wanted to interfere with the post-ceremony stage show? And so if he didn't have his costume, then Mr. Vanguard would be forced... I chose poorly, didn't I? Hey, excuse me? Yeah, I got it backwards. I forgot the fact that he was wearing his costume the entire time. Oops. It's a spare costume. I mean, same thing, right? Sort of. Just missing a step or two. Mr. Wright did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we're talking about was a spare one. Nani? And at least saying that on the night of the murder, there are 2 Nico Samurai costumes at the Gay One Hotel? Yes, that's what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spirit to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kalita, was the German ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? But what could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? No, but I have the power on save load, so I could probably do it in a number of realities. Carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was... I mean, maybe, but I doubt it. Yeah, this is probably the wrong answer. The reason the victim brought the samurai costume. Maybe now I'm thinking what I'm thinking. No. Take that. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was gonna hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ngar himself said he had no idea what he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. But how can that be? The way I see it, it can only mean one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Coretta himself. The victim? Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for this very conference. Mr. Coretta was going to hold the press conference as a Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as a Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I'm concerned with right now is that he tended to reveal, it's what he intended to reveal at the conference. Nico Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Coretta, posing as a Nico Samurai, was going to speak about Madangard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure. Miss Andrews? I can see why you're pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference is set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Japanese Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was gonna make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was gonna ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Nani? And do you know what this secret of Mr. Guards is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it was. Oh, what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off as suspicious to everyone. That's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. Engard. And yet again, another strange bit of light to the Another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Protecting Matt. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My doubts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. And this does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. Finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with the testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Light. Like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. So we have to put my weight into this and turn our logic upside down. Would you say that this was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. I've already known that, Phoenix. And teaches us that in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why one had chose that event and a hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Vanguard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who came up with the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? I show proof. Anyway, the most important thing here is your information. The most important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree. Ms. Andrews, we continue your testimony if you please. Yes, we're that's Charles now, are we, Mr. Wright? Has Mr. Gark done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Corrida with his press conference. And an event was supposed to bring down Mr. Guard, yet you still helped him out. Oh, yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means the defendant had a motive to kill. I'm doing this myself. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Guard was taking a nap in this room? Are you telling me now that that too is a lie so you can cover for Mr. Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I find no flaws with what Andrew said. I can't say the same for some people here in the courtroom, however. Judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart boy. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. And then, what about the button? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Jamming Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found on the plates of Matt's hakamak, is that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Looks like you're all foxed again, Mr. Knight. Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. Can't stand at the side of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. With an icy stare, yes. Ms. Andrews, for Mr. Knight's sake, please add this information to your testimony. The button was torn off. And how do you know that? When the end of the threads of the button and the costume matched up, they were found to fit perfectly together, or so I heard. Heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not. That I had it this time for sure. Is there anything to trip Robin or Whereas if there's anything to chirp her up on, it has to be here, but where and what? Usually when they add things to the testimony, there is a suspicious of that statement. I just want to know what this last bit is before I proceed to think about the evidence. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? At the worst possible time. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. and Guard at any time. Why didn't she wait until there's such a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. and Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will toward the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour. Please stop slandering the witness. This voice solid. Sounds wishy-washy. Right, I know where to pin, obviously. The brother was torn off one during his fight with Matt. Ah. For a second, I was gonna say this Yalabi is... It's just eat the button back at him. Nope. The button was turned off once during his fight with Matt. No. Okay, or maybe I just go in circles this time. Am I going in circles with what I'm trying to yeet? Oh yeah, strangled. Could it be as simple as really just eating the report? Of course. Objection. Yeah, because like the entire time I glossed over the fact that he got strangled at the very beginning of the case, right? This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Well, let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume. When? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. Yeah. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. Order. What is the meaning? What's the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean the murderer has something in mind, wouldn't it? This right? Does this mean? Does it mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with the button? Obviously to pin the crime on him. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. Engard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. Engard was set up. By the real killer, of course. And the murderer is... Well, Mr. Knight, who in the world is the real killer then? Finally. Again, I'm doubting myself on what the answer is, but it probably is truth. Maybe. Can we manage to bring this trial all the way up to this point? Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. Engard, is obviously Vanguard now. Take that. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. Pokemon? I mean, you are Mr. Kurita's killer. What? Order. Mr. Wright? This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then what about this knife? It kind of looks like a jinx if you squint your eyes. The knife was used to stab the victim after he'd already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. Engard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints can only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Also, rip glasses. Rip another pair of glasses. I'm not going to question how many she asked, by the way. And then, what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? We just went over this. His button was removed from the victim's body after he already died. The only people who would have done so were the people who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. Engard was a real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. That's 4 glasses. I think that's 3 or 4 at this point. I lost count already. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Engard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. The costume is used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who would have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could have only been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is... You, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid her leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes indeed, she was a classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exit the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this Nickel Samurai is Mr. Engard. He would have been too sharp for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I want to say that was 4 at this point, because I know one broke during the whole pressing her with more evidence. A mountain's worth, to be precise. I forgot her this time. Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with ways to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. Nani? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Guard's room. Why am I not surprised? Right, because they did speak to each other before I proceeded to unravel the mystery of the connection between the two of them. Adrian Andrews. Yes. Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? Alright. Because it's the same thing as evidence law. It just comes up naturally in the course of a trial, right? At least that wasn't as convoluted as the whole Badger puzzle, but still. That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. Did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done? What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence? Yeah? But there's still humanists, Miss Edgeworth. I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything a good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. Nani? Everything you've proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. Miss Andrews, you, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita? This may lead to me incriminating myself, so I was abstained from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it'll be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. Taking a defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we landed in the worst possible situation. I think we'll reach a certain conclusion at this point in time. This Agent Andrews has refused to testify. And the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof. But it's not true. In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do. And that is to declare recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... Tomorrow? Don't have it tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... hold it. Please wait, Your Honor. It's not necessary. Trial? Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? It's not it. It isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... Yeah? But it's impossible to continue as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Eh? Mr. Edgeworth? What are you? It's true Miss Andrews holds a right against self-incrimination. However, if the time of a conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that's very true, but... Actually, there's one little thing I'm curious about, Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they're shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to say that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever you find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Don't know what it is about Edward today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Edward is like, he wants the truth compared to Francisco, who just whips people for no good reason. Right. When I found the body, that glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into that room and saw that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim? Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? Didn't think you needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Trev, what the heck's going on in that brain of yours? Now, Mr. Light, you may begin your cross-examination. I have an idea of what I'm about to eat now that I finally see maybe the reason, but I still need to know everything else. But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who'd you pour for? Mr. Wright, there's a rhyme and reason for everything. Wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you. In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I could have said it better myself. So it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Kurita? I understand your frustrations of not being able to prove your theory, however, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that right there sound a little odd? Then what did cross your mind? I thought maybe he had smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix. He then felt tired after his rampage, so he decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought. I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all. You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe I got into a fight with someone. And that's when he went to pour the glass of juice. Yes, he always has a hard time waking up. So one always had a glass of tomato juice to drink. And I see. And after that, what happened next? And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward. And knocked the vase over, so that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian's letting her guard down. Okay, it wasn't exactly what I thought it was then. I think it has to be this, because that's the only thing that sticks out. Maybe this is when I actually eat this? No. Didn't mean to press. No. Okay, not that. Or maybe it's just a hint that it's not what it seems. I'm just pressing for no good reason. Took them over and over, got a pulse. Set the glass down. I didn't mean to press. I meant to present that. Objection. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Ah. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw the scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man. You see? I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. They didn't so nonchalantly go pour him something to drink. Yeah, the point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. I also rip glasses again. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer. No. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Menengod, is not guilty after all. It's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you're the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because... Miss Andrews, I'll give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then there's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Managard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I'd like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Managard. Of course. Again, I shouldn't be surprised, and yet I am. Because Edgar's all about the truth. As I roll my eyes. Your Honor, the prosecution feels as it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. Nani? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute, real truth. The absolute, real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Vanguard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. It's a lie. I don't believe you. Nani? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over. Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. She's scared. Francisca von Karma. Huh? Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. And then, right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If we do, Bannegar will be acquitted. Miss Andrew entirely believes in those words right now. It's clinging onto them. Ah, great. Again, I shouldn't be surprised, but I thought she would have not clung on to Von Karma. It's the first time I ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Believe me, I didn't kill Juan. Help. Please. Someone. Help me. Right? Yes, Your Honor. The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? Right. I suggest you get careful about this. I swear, sometimes you're a bro edge reference, sometimes you just throw me a curveball for no good reason. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's a real mastermind? Isn't it obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Fine, I'll board the anime train, I guess. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But having myself to do it like this, not when she's making the face like that. Miss Andrews, I'd like to know what you're really hiding. Mr. Knight, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure, Mr. and Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you'd be found guilty. Is this how you really want the case of this trial to end? Quiet. How dare you? Trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edruff. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. Yeah? I had hoped things would have come to this, however. What is it, Miss Edruff? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edruff? Oh no, he's... Of course he's gonna go that way. This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. Nani? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. We call this Edward to stand. I mean, didn't we do that once in Ace Attorney? That's the second part of the suicide report, the attempted report. We do not witness. You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I would now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop. I beg you. If people find out... I'll... If you're gonna say you would choose death, then that's no concern to me. But for Larry Potts, I think he did it. I mean, true, but also, bro. Edruff, how can you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips. No matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? It's fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. My crime. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Swan's dead body with a knife and ripped out the button. Just when I finished and returned to Matt's room, I had a bit of inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using a nickel samurai costume. Stab the body with a knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? A certain cowardly man. What? What do you mean by all this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt, scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again. It's like last time. Last time? So, Mr. Andrews stabbed the victim Honkarita in the chest with a knife? However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of freeing man and girl from the murder. And this is a crime. Nani? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, just get over your shock and commence a cross-examination. When in doubt, pass. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling me the truth when you say that you didn't know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is part of the Japanese ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. What's this plan he had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's greatest weak point to the world. So Matt did it to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's what I thought. I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you can get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would surely turn their eyes toward him. Matt was snapping with his costume on at the time. I stepped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. So you're the one that stabbed the victim with that knife? It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. A horrible thing I did. But at the time I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I use his button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and implant it to Mr. Engar's Hakama? Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go as smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There was a woman with a camera at the ready, lording in the hallway. I wanted to bet my spikes it was Lada. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. Yeah, that's all big. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who repaired that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is his secret? That? I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, and people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we heard enough. So after that, he went back to Mr. Gartum and planted the button. Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I filled up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word, what does this all mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Vanguard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? Sorry. She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I'd done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right? It's pointless. At this point in time, it's not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was a culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But... Mr. Ashford, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Like I say, damn it. Today's trial, it's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I ask you something? Yeah, he had dinner across town apparently. I don't know. Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. That card in your hand, it's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time he asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? I guess not, but it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness that card. Give it to me, hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you stupidly yet inadvertently done? This? Can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What's this all about? I've never seen an Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? Also to be continued. I mean, that is true, but we never got the idea of what it was. That's why I felt drained. I felt drained from the whole, like, we did not succeed in our efforts. Okay, well, as much as I don't want to cliffhang, it is after 1 o'clock for me. I do need to get some sleep pretty soon, and as much as I want to resume this Thursday night, I will be predisposed. So come Friday night, we will resume and see where this tournament takes me, because we are still on a wild roller coaster of a ride, apparently.